Hey, welcome to Integrated Preparedness. I'm Steve Smith. Just a short one to let you know about something. You probably, if you haven't heard, you read the title. If you haven't read it yet, I just saw going through the news this morning that Randy Weaver has died. They're not giving a cause of death. Apparently he'd been sick for a while, his daughter said. Most of you are familiar with Randy Weaver and understand the case, know about it. Most people don't know the details of the Weaver case at Ruby Ridge. Those of you who do know, we're reminded of the lessons of government overreach, oppression, violation of constitutional rights of American citizens, all sorts of things. Those of you who may not, and I've put over, I'll get back to that in a second, I've put a very good coverage of it over on Patreon, an article from the internet. I forget the Information Liberation, I think it was from. It was an excellent coverage, which includes some of the some videos about Ruby Ridge and all that. For those of you who aren't familiar with Randy Weaver in that case, it is worth looking into. You need to look into it. You need to study it. You need to see what happened. It's a lesson in what the government will do. It's a lesson to be taken to heart, to understand. It's really the case that brought attention, the national attention to the abuses by the government. There are a couple of books that I would recommend for anybody who is interested. One by Jess Walter is called Every Knee Shall Bow. Actually, it could be bow, but it depends on how you use it. The Truth and Tragedy of Ruby Ridge and the Randy Weaver Family. And then there's another one, which of course is excellent. It's written by Weaver himself and his daughter Sarah, The Federal Siege at Ruby Ridge. I suggest that everyone read these books. And this is a time on Weaver's death. It's a time for all of us to give some real serious thought about this. I guess I'll put this over on American Reversion too, so welcome to you all. I should have said that right up front. I was thinking about doing something else for AR later, but this should go on AR as well. So look into this case. If you are a member of ours on Patreon, go over and look at that article. It's a good one. It's fairly inclusive. If you're not with us on Patreon, you ought to be, just for things like this. And the link is down below, because it's the kind of stuff I put up there. Besides putting up yesterday one on carrying multiple guns. I also heard that John Ross, for those of you who are familiar with him, who wrote Unintended Consequences. This is the Atlas Shrugged of the gun rights movement. I heard that he passed away last week, and I meant to say something about it, and I forgot. So anyway, this is if you haven't read this, you should. It's pretty pricey. They're hard to get. Probably going to be more difficult to get right now. I think pretty well. I won't even get into it. You can find it, but be prepared to pay something for it. But it's a good one. So anyway, I'm going to let you go on that. These are the things. There are certain situations that highlight the realities that we really need to be thinking about. Ruby Ridge being one, Waco being another, of course. And there are others that don't make the news like that. But this is a day that we should reflect, that we should think about this, that we should share this with friends. Share this video with friends, if you will. We appreciate that. And by the way, I've been told that people are finding out they've been unsubscribed. So, you know, for whatever, I mean, if you were unsubscribed, maybe you're not watching this unless you look for it. But double check, make sure that you are subscribed. Give it a thumbs up to help that algorithm. I don't know if that does any good or not. I really don't. I hear people say that, and to be honest, I've never looked into it that much because I just don't have time, and I'm not tech savvy. Anyway, think about that today. Randy Weaver, Ruby Ridge, what's happening to our country, and give it serious thought, consideration. Talk about it with your friends. Okay. Remember, we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow. It's impossible to prepare for a tomorrow without an understanding of the past. You all have a good day. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.